Even though she was clearly a rabbit spirit, the girl somehow gave birth to a whole nest of eggs. Just as she braced herself, thinking her husband would beat her to death, he burst into tears of pure joy. He even begged her to have a few more litters, all because the dragon clan was desperately short on heirs. The dragon crown prince was over 10,000 years old, a true master of both the pen and the sword. Yet, he never showed the slightest interest in women. Driven to desperation, the dragon queen mother started trying just about anything. She gathered beauties from all over and stuffed them into the prince's estate. Little Jade was originally Sister Chang's pampered moon rabbit, but after tumbling down to the mortal realm, Granny Shrimp lured her into the dragon palace with just 2 measly carrots. Granny Shrimp told her, as long as you sleep in the same bed as the dragon prince, you'll never go hungry again. Seeing little Jade's beautiful figure, the dragon queen mother nodded in absolute approval. She whispered to the maids beside her, "Look at her, she definitely looks like she can bear children well. She just seems a little slow, but that's fine. She'll make a perfect bedmaid. Once the official wife comes in, she'll be easy to manage. Way easier to control than some scheming girl." Little Jade had absolutely no idea what a bedmaid was, or what an official wife meant, for that matter. She just happily skipped her. She realized the courtyard was full of pretty girls, but they didn't seem to like Bai Yu's arrival at all. The first time she laid eyes on the dragon crown prince, Bai Yu was practically drooling. Because he was just so incredibly handsome, way better looking than any of Sister Duane's past lovers. A flicker of surprise crossed the dragon prince's eyes, and he stared at her blankly for a long moment. Bai Yu quickly became public enemy number 1 to all the beautiful girls in the courtyard, and they bullied her relentlessly. They poured water all over her bed and wouldn't even let her eat. They piled tons of chores on her, until she was so starving she just couldn't take it anymore. Suddenly, Bai Yu remembered what Granny Shrimp had told her. She said that as long as she won the dragon prince's favor, she would never go hungry again. So, in the dead of night, she sneaked right into the dragon prince's private bedchamber. The prince's room was completely empty, so she marched straight over and climbed right into his bed. She pulled the covers up tight, and waited for what felt like forever. Finally, the dragon prince pushed open the door and walked in. He casually stripped off his clothes and tossed them onto the floor. As he went into the washroom for a cold shower, Bai Yu secretly peeked out from a tiny gap in the blankets. She spied on him quietly, but for some reason, Bai Yu started feeling hotter and hotter, and her heart began to pound wildly in her chest. Before she knew it, he was standing right beside the bed, staring down at the blanket, where Bai Yu was huddled up into a little mound. "Come out," he ordered. Granny Shrimp had warned her that the dragon prince was the future emperor of the dragon realm, and his every word must be obeyed. So, Bai Yu obediently wiggled her way out. She patted the pillow right next to her, looked up at him with eager eyes, and said, "Your Highness, let's go to sleep." A sudden glint of amusement flashed in his usually cold eyes, and he asked with genuine interest, "What is your name?" Bai Yu replied with a shy little blush. "My name is Ayu." The dragon prince stared at her. His breathing grew heavier by the second. He rushed to the bathroom and drenched his head in cold water. But when he came back out, his eyes were even more bloodshot. He clenched his fists tightly, as if desperately trying to hold something back. "I've been poisoned," the dragon prince rasped. "I can't suppress it, Ayu." The dragon prince's grip on Bai Yu's arm was burning hot, making her own skin flush with heat. "If I say yes, do I get something good to eat?" He suddenly gave a devilish smirk, chuckling in amusement as he nodded. Bai Yu immediately jumped for joy, grabbing hold of his hand. "Okay, then I won't have to go hungry anymore." The clarity in the dragon prince's eyes was completely swallowed by desire. No matter how hard Bai Yu pushed him, he didn't budge an inch. Bai Yu's mind felt completely dizzy and clouded. She thought it was over, but to her shock, the dragon prince just held her even tighter. Bai Yu cried out anxiously, "I don't want to eat anymore. Let me go." He just kissed Bai Yu, and finally, reluctantly let her go. Bai Yu looked up at him, her eyes red and teary. The dragon prince gazed back at her and pressed a gentle kiss to her forehead. Bai Yu clung tightly to his arm. "You have to keep your word. Now you have to give me food." The dragon prince stroked Bai Yu's hair, his eyes brimming with absolute affection. With a single command, the servants outside quickly brought in a feast, packing the table to the brim with delicious food. Just like that, through a crazy twist of fate, Bai Yu, the very last girl to enter the courtyard, unexpectedly became the very first to win the dragon prince's favor. The next day, as servants came to collect the brocade handkerchief from the bed, the beautiful older girls crowded outside the window to watch, glaring daggers at her side room, their eyes practically shooting fire with jealousy. Granny Shrimp hadn't lied to her. Once she had the dragon prince's favor, she truly never went hungry again. The dragon prince treated Bai Yu incredibly well, buying her endless delicious treats. After staying with him, Bai Yu even seemed to have grown a bit taller. People outside claimed the dragon prince stayed far away from women, but that was a complete lie. Ever since that night, it was like he was entirely possessed. Whenever he returned to the estate, he'd immediately summon Bai Yu to his bed. Even on his days off, he would have her serve him in his private study. Bai Yu was terrified, and with no one else to turn to, she could only sneak off to find Granny Shrimp. After listening to Bai Yu stammer through her worries, Granny Shrimp's wrinkled face flushed red. "Oh, my sweet little ancestor. That means the Dragon Prince is doting on you. It's a blessing others would kill for. Give it some time. If your belly does its job and gives him a dragon son, your status will skyrocket because of the child. You could even be officially crowned as a royal concubine. Then you'll be set for the rest of your life." Listening to Granny Shrimp, Bai Yu felt really conflicted. But what if my tummy isn't lucky, and I pop out a little baby bunny instead? Granny Shrimp scratched her head, suddenly stumped too. That night, snuggled deep in the Dragon Prince's arms, Bai Yu finally asked the question she'd been stressing over. "Your Highness, do you think our future baby will be a dragon, or a bunny?" The hand stroking her hair suddenly stopped. After a moment, he replied with a flat tone, "You're still young. There is no need to rush into having children." But starting the very next day, every time after they were intimate, he would have someone bring in a bowl of dark herbal medicine. He told her it was good for her body, and Bai Yu drank every drop without a second thought. Innocent and naive back then, she didn't question it. It was only much later that she finally understood. The medicine the Dragon Prince fed her must have been a contraceptive. He never had any intention of letting Bai Yu bear his firstborn son. Usually, as long as he was at the estate, he kept Bai Yu right by his side. In his free time, he would personally teach her how to write and paint. Even though her handwriting looked like chicken scratch, he never grew tired of it. Gently and patiently correcting her. Her absolute favorite thing to write was his name, Kong Xuan. Stroke by stroke, her heart overflowing with joy. He knew Bai Yu loved to eat, so every time he came back from a trip, he would bring her a little treat. Sometimes it was a packet of sweet osmanthus candy, sometimes a basket of steaming soup dumplings, and sometimes even the finest sweet nectar. Bai Yu's feelings gradually began to change. Whenever he wasn't around, she found herself constantly thinking of him. Just being with him, even when he was completely buried in his work, and she was just sitting there spacing out, made her feel entirely content. The Dragon Crown Prince had to leave to attend the Queen Mother's annual Immortal Peach Banquet. The mere thought of being separated from him for over a month left a heavy, suffocating ache in her chest. That night, for once, she took the initiative. A look of pure, delighted surprise flashed in Kong Xuan's eyes. After he left, Bai Yu completely lost her appetite. Even her favorite carrots tasted like nothing. Suddenly, she remembered a poem the prince had taught her. Xianxia must regret stealing the elixir of immortality, left with only the blue seas and endless skies, lonely night after night. Back then, Sister Xianxia had looked disgusted and insisted she never regretted it. But in the dead of night, Bai Yu had clearly seen her gazing down at the mortal realm, silently weeping. So, this was love, arising out of nowhere, yet sinking deep into the very marrow of her bones. On the day the Dragon Prince returned, he hurriedly pulled her into his bedchambers. Looking incredibly secretive, he pulled out half an immortal peach and handed it to her. I secretly saved this for you. I knew you'd never tasted one, so I brought it back for you." At that moment, tears streamed down her cheeks. Her heart swelled with overwhelming emotion. The immortal peach was the most precious delicacy in all the heavens. Yet Kong Xuan had secretly saved his own share just to bring it back for her. As the peach melted in her mouth, releasing a burst of divine fragrance, waves of pure warmth flooded Bai Yu's heart. She could just stay like this with him forever. She would willingly give up ever returning to the Moon Palace. But Bai Yu had forgotten that she was nothing more than a bedmaid. How could she possibly dream of an eternity with the Crown Prince? Not long after, news of a grand political marriage between the Dragon Clan and the Xianxia Fox Clan spread everywhere. The future Crown Princess, Imperial Princess Gu of the Foxes, was coming to stay at the Dragon Palace. The other beauties who had always despised Bai Yu began to mock her ruthlessly. "You're just a useless little rabbit. Did you really think you could hog His Highness forever? The true mistress has arrived. Trash like you should know your place. And get out of the way." They stood lining both sides of the path. A handsome prince and a beautiful princess, they were an absolutely perfect match. In that moment, Bai Yu felt completely suffocated. If for the rest of eternity, for millions of years to come, she had to stand by and watch him be a loving, devoted husband to another woman. Just the thought of it shattered her heart. The Dragon Prince spent every single day accompanying Gu, admiring flowers and strolling together. Some cruel busybodies even painted scenes of the two of them together, sending the portraits directly to Bai Yu. She claimed she didn't care, but whenever the dead of night fell, tears would completely soak her pillow. Kong Xuan had been coming back incredibly late for days now, and he hadn't called for her to serve him in bed once. It seemed what the others were saying was true. She was nothing but a plaything to help him pass his free time. Then, suddenly, one day, the Dragon Empress summoned Bai Yu to her quarters. It turned out that Kong Xuan was swamped with official duties, and afraid that Gu might feel lonely, the Empress ordered Bai Yu to keep the princess company. Ji Yu walked right up to Bai Yu and linked arms with her, acting incredibly warm and friendly. I hear you're the one serving in Azan's chambers. You must have worked so hard taking care of him. But the second they were completely alone, her expression instantly turned vicious. She violently threw Bai Yu's hand away. A filthy, lowly rabbit like you actually thinks she's worthy to serve by Azan's side? I hear you even parade yourself around as his woman. Tell me who matters more to you? Her or me? A terrible sense of dread washed over Bai Yu. But before she could even try to run, Ji Yu suddenly snatched the golden phoenix hairpin from her own head, and tossed it right into the water. Just then, Kong Xuan stepped into the courtyard. She immediately burst into fake tears, throwing herself into Kong Xuan's arms and sobbing, "Kong Xuan, this girl in your courtyard is so horribly rude. I just wanted her to keep me company and chat for a bit. But she shoved me away. She even threw the golden hairpin my mother left me straight into the water." Bai Yu hadn't seen him in so long. The man who used to hold her tenderly, night after night, was now staring at her with such a cold, icy expression. He felt like a total stranger. Kong Xuan shot Bai Yu a quick glance, his eyes completely devoid of any warmth. Without even giving Bai Yu a chance to explain, Kong Xuan looked down, softly comforting the woman in his arms. "I'll have someone fish it out for you," he said. But Ji Yu pouted in displeasure. Pointing a finger right at Bai Yu, she demanded, "She caused this mess, so she should be the one to pay the price. I want her to go down there and get it herself." But rabbits are absolutely terrified of water. If they weren't, Bai Yu wouldn't have needed Granny Shrimp to save her when she fell into the Eastern Sea all those years ago. Kong Xuan used to lovingly tease her about being a clumsy little duck, yet now, he coldly ordered her to get into the water. The freezing seawater slowly swallowed Bai Yu's body, bit by bit. The cold was absolutely bone-chilling. She desperately fumbled around in the dark water, feeling her body heat slowly slipping away. After searching for 2 grueling hours, she finally found that golden hairpin. Soaked to the bone and shivering violently, Bai Yu handed it back to her. The Dragon Queen, having caught wind of the incident, stormed over in a furious hurry. "Such absolutely unruly behavior. You've completely disgraced our Dragon Clan's reputation. Kneel right here and reflect on your actions. And don't you dare get up until 10 full hours have passed." Kong Xuan didn't even spare her a single glance. He just wrapped his arm around Ji Yu and walked away. The harsh night wind blew past, making Bai Yu curl into a tight ball as she shuddered violently. In that painful moment, she truly understood the massive gap between a mere concubine and a lawful wife. She had absolutely no voice here. In the end, Bai Yu couldn't make it through the full 10 hours because she completely blacked out. In a hazy daze, she thought she saw Kong Xuan's worried face. He was gently applying a warm compress to her bruised knees. With tears blurring her vision, she softly asked him if she truly meant nothing to him anymore. But Kong Xuan just remained completely silent. When she finally woke up, the room was completely empty. Bai Yu shook her head, letting out a bitter, heartbroken laugh. "I guess it was all just a pathetic illusion," she thought. Just then, the sound of approaching footsteps came from outside. Kong Xuan walked in, his face dark and gloomy. A brief spark of hope and joy flickered in Bai Yu's heart. "Your Highness, you came to see me?" Kong Xuan sat down on the edge of her bed, staring at her intensely. His eyes were filled with complicated emotions. After losing her golden hairpin yesterday, the princess of Xianxia was attacked by evil spirits. Her life is hanging by a thread right now. He paused for a moment. His gaze grew terrifyingly firm as he looked right at her. "The divine healer said they need a piece of rabbit flesh to make the cure. You've always been so understanding, please. Just help her this once, okay? I promise you, I will treat you so much better after this." In that instant, it felt like a bucket of freezing ice water had been poured over her head. She was chilled to her very soul. I didn't do it. She threw it in there herself. Why won't you just believe me? This is what you owe her." "I'm sorry." Kong Xuan grabbed her arm with a crushing grip. No matter how desperately she cried and begged, Kong Xuan still pulled out a dagger, and brutally sliced off a piece of her flesh. The agonizing pain completely ripped her apart. She couldn't tell if the pain was in her arm or in her heart. As Bai Yu fainted from the sheer agony, she faintly remembered seeing a heartbroken look in Kong Xuan's eyes. But why would he ever feel sorry for me? It must have been just a hallucination. The very next day, she heard that Ji Yu had finally woken up. The Dragon Empress Dowager sent someone to summon Bai Yu, saying that Ji Yu wanted to personally thank her for the sacrifice of cutting off her own flesh to save her. As she walked up to the corridor, she heard the cheerful laughter of the Empress Dowager and Ji Yu echoing from inside the room. "Oh, you sweet child. Just focus on resting and getting your strength back. Once you officially marry into our family, you'll need to give our Azan a big, healthy baby boy. As for those women in his chambers, I will personally keep a very close eye on them. I absolutely will not let any of them give birth to his eldest son before you marry him. And once you're his wife, how you want to deal with them will be entirely up to you." In their eyes, the Empress Dowager didn't even spare her a single glance. To them, she was nothing more than a lowly servant. It's her absolute privilege to be able to save you. Why even bother exhausting yourself to thank her in person? You are just way too kind-hearted. This time, Bai Yu understood it loud and clear. The Empress Dowager was issuing a harsh warning to her. As she quietly backed out of the room, Bai Yu stared at her own lonely reflection in the water. Pale, flawless skin, a beautiful face, and a delicate, graceful figure. With long, dark hair cascading down like a waterfall. She was so beautiful. So why on earth was she letting them trample all over her? She was just a hidden, shameful bedmaid in Kong Xuan's courtyard. She never had the right to stand proudly by his side, let alone the privilege, or the courage, to dream of spending a lifetime with him. It was time for her to leave. Completely stripped of all her foolish illusions, Bai Yu started carefully plotting her escape. In the blink of an eye, the Dragon Empress Dowager's birthday arrived. Guests from all across the realms came to celebrate. It was the absolute perfect chance for her to run away. Bai Yu transformed back into her true animal form, and quietly slipped into the dark corner of a departing carriage. Watching the majestic dragon palace fade further and further into the distance for some reason, she couldn't stop a single tear from rolling down her cheek. Kong Xuan goodbye, forever. Bai Yu had no idea where this carriage was taking her. As it bumped and swayed along the road, she started to drift into a deep sleep. Suddenly, a violent shout erupted from outside. The chaotic sounds of a fierce battle broke out, and the fighting grew more and more intense by the second. She carefully peeked out and saw an elderly woman sitting terrified inside the carriage. Just as a demon's wicked blade was about to strike the old lady, Bai Yu couldn't bear to watch. She revealed her human form and blocked the deadly blow. Just when her body was on the verge of collapsing from exhaustion, a squad of warriors charged in and turned the tide of the battle. The old lady gently led her over to the man who commanded the troops. "A Fei, this brave young lady is the one who saved your mother's life." As it turned out, the old lady was actually a close, lifelong friend of the Dragon Empress Dowager, and the commanding warrior was her son, Rui Fei. Seeing that Bai Yu had nowhere else to go, Auntie Grape warmly invited her to come live in the floral realm. The people there were incredibly pure and kind-hearted, and the weather was like a beautiful, endless spring. It was such a breathtakingly beautiful place. Auntie Grape even took her in and adopted her as her own goddaughter. Although Rui Fei was quite suspicious of where she actually came from, he still treated her with the utmost respect and politeness. One day, she saw a little kid on the side of the road happily munching on a huge, roasted pork joint. The rich, savory smell drifted right over to her. But suddenly, Bai Yu felt her stomach churn with intense nausea. Auntie Grape just assumed she had eaten something bad for lunch, and hurriedly called for the tree doctor to examine her. Lately, Bai Yu had been so completely consumed by her heartbreak that she hadn't even realized she was already over 2 months pregnant. She must have gotten pregnant that very night, right before Kong Xuan left for the Immortal Peach Banquet. You see, since she was little, Bai Yu and her older sister Chang'e only had each other to rely on. But Sister Chang'e was always sneaking down to the mortal realm to chase after romance. So most of the time it was just Bai Yu, left all alone to guard the Cold Moon Palace. After so many years of being completely alone, she finally had a child of her very own flesh and blood. She subconsciously touched her still flat stomach, secretly resolving to keep this baby. Auntie Grape was kind-hearted. Seeing that Bai Yu had made up her mind, she gently patted her shoulder. "Ah Yu, don't you worry. If you really want to give birth to this child, I'll treat the little ones like my very own grandkids, and help you raise them." To avoid any idle gossip, Auntie Grape told everyone that Bai Yu was a widow returning home, and that she was carrying her late husband's child. Rui Fei was a man of few words, but he thoughtfully hired a midwife and a wet nurse for her. After 10 long months of pregnancy, while she was helping Auntie Grape dry the grapes, she suddenly felt a rush of warmth between her legs. Her water had broken. Without a second word, Rui Fei scooped Bai Yu up and rushed her to the delivery room. After a grueling day and night of labor, she successfully gave birth to 5 dragon boys. Every single one of them had little horns on their heads. Not a single cute little white bunny among them. Auntie Grape and Rui Fei exchanged a look, seeing both heavy concern and utter shock in each other's eyes. They didn't ask any questions. Her eyes grew moist with tears. From now on, she was finally no longer completely alone in this world. Having her very own flesh and blood, her life naturally became so much more fulfilling. The 5 boys ate a ton and grew up so fast, keeping both her and Auntie Grape incredibly busy every single day. Over the years, Bai Yu would occasionally hear news about Kong Xuan, hearing that the marriage alliance between the Dragon Clan and the Qingqiu Fox Clan was a massive blessing for the 6 realms. They said the Dragon Crown Prince was brave and fierce in battle, stepping onto the battlefield several times to completely crush the demon army. His contributions to the peace of the 6 realms were truly monumental. But it all felt as distant as a fading dream. "I heard you came from the Dragon Clan. Have you ever seen the Dragon Crown Prince? Does he really look like the rumors say, with eyes as big as brass bells? And massive horns on his head as big as mountains?" The neighbors always loved to gossip and poke around. Whenever this happened, Bai Yu could only give a quick, polite smile and brush it off. The days passed by so peacefully. She truly thought she would never see Kong Xuan again in this lifetime. When it was Auntie Grape's birthday, since it wasn't a milestone year, they only planned on having a quiet family dinner to celebrate. But who would have thought the Dragon Clan actually sent someone to offer congratulations? Someone from the Dragon Clan. Her heart gave a sudden, terrified tremor. An inexplicable panic gripped her chest. That very night, Bai Yu tossed and turned, sleeping incredibly restlessly. In her dream, she saw Kong Xuan's face. He gripped her chin tightly, forcing her head up to look at him. "Ah, you have a lot of nerve. Actually dared to run away from me. Ha, in a dream, why should I be afraid of you?" Bai Yu furiously cursed at him. "Kong Xuan, you absolute scumbag, I don't want you anymore." Spitting out the bitter words she had kept buried for years, her heart felt so much lighter and freer. When she woke up the next morning, their entire family stood at the doorway, waiting to welcome the honored guest. Bai Yu carefully warned the 5 little boys huddled at her feet, "There's a very important guest at the house today. You absolutely cannot cause any trouble. If you boys behave yourselves, I promise to let you practice martial arts with Uncle Fei tomorrow." Her 5 sons were right at that chaotic age where they could drive anyone crazy. Take your eyes off them for a single second, and they'd cause an absolute disaster. Lately, they had been whining non-stop about learning martial arts. Bai Yu had been worried it would be too tough on them at such a young age. So she had firmly refused and held her ground. Hearing her promise, the boys nodded their heads vigorously. In the distance, a carriage slowly approached. Her eldest son suddenly piped up. "There's a super handsome uncle inside that carriage." The eldest boy was born with incredibly sharp eyesight. "Look, that uncle has horns on his head too." The other 4 little ones gathered around their older brother, begging him to keep telling the story. But Bai Yu's heart started pounding frantically. The carriage stopped right in front of them, and the curtain was lifted. Out stepped a figure both strange, yet so painfully familiar. The man before her had the same cold, stern face as always. Only now, he looked even more mature and grounded. There wasn't a single ripple of emotion in his eyes. His gaze swept over Bai Yu and the 5 children. It was terrifyingly cold. Auntie Grape enthusiastically introduced them. "This is my adopted daughter. She was widowed and moved back home. The children were all born after her late husband passed away. Since you're heading back, maybe you could help keep an eye out? See if there are any suitable young men in your dragon clan to introduce to my daughter here." Auntie Grape just kept chattering away, completely oblivious to Kong Xuan and Rui Fei's darkening expressions. Kong Xuan poked the inside of his cheek with his tongue and let out a cold scoff. "Your daughter looks quite young. I will definitely make sure to find her a good match." Bai Yu's heart trembled at his words. She kept her head down, not daring to say a word. But her 5 sons, naturally fearless, crowded around him. They touched the sword slung across his side, completely fascinated by it. "Are you super strong at fighting, mister? Your horns are so big. Way bigger than my brother's." Bai Yu quickly clamped her hand over Little Five's mouth, terrified he would spill their secret if he kept talking. Back then, Kong Xuan had forced Bai Yu to drink so much medicine to prevent a pregnancy. Having these children was a pure miracle. They had absolutely nothing to do with him. Kong Xuan rummaged through his belongings and handed out trinkets to the 5 little ones. Only then did the children quiet down for a bit. During the evening banquet, Kong Xuan, who was usually a man of few words, became surprisingly talkative. He charmed Auntie Grape so much that she couldn't stop laughing. When everyone was completely wasted and stumbling around, Bai Yu had no choice but to order the servants to help them back to their rooms, one by one. The banquet hall suddenly. He stared at her relentlessly. Under his piercing gaze, Bai Yu was on pins and needles. He suddenly set down his wine glass and stood up. Reaching his arms out toward Bai Yu, he was heavily intoxicated. "Come, help me to bed." She quickly called out toward the door. "Someone come, help his lordship to the guest room." But he walked straight over and heavily draped his arm around her shoulders. "I'm not used to strangers touching me, but I'm a stranger too." Looking into his bloodshot eyes, Bai Yu quietly swallowed those words back down. With nowhere to run, she had no choice but to struggle under his weight as she walked him out. Suddenly, a harsh gust of wind blew out the lantern in her hand. In a flash, he slammed Bai Yu against the massive tree behind her. She thrashed wildly, beating her fists against his chest, but he forced both of her wrists tightly above her head. Her voice trembling with tears, she cried, "Your Highness." Her crying snapped him out of it. He immediately pulled back, putting some distance between them. He ordered in a dark, low voice, "Lead the way. To your room." The second they stepped inside Bai Yu's bedroom, Kong Xuan aggressively pinned her against the door. "Weren't you just pretending you didn't know me? I didn't realize Miss Yu was so easy, bringing a man you just met straight into your bedroom." He was furious. Bai Yu squeezed her eyes shut, refusing to look at him. "Bai Yu, deep down, what the hell am I to you? A disposable plaything?" Bai Yu's heart trembled at the thought. She opened her eyes, staring at him with fierce stubbornness. Why must your highness humiliate me like this? I know my place. I'm just a lowly commoner nowhere near as noble as the princess of Xianxia. But I come from a decent family too, and I won't just throw myself away. Still, I thank your highness for taking care of me before. During those days with the dragon clan, even though he had cut off a piece of her flesh, he was gentle and kind to her most of the time. What does any of this have to do with the princess of Xianxia? Are you still holding a grudge because I took a piece of your flesh? I can explain. She turned her head away and shook it gently. Your highness is of noble birth. You don't need to explain anything to a lowly little rabbit like me. Just consider it my way of repaying your kindness. We belong to two completely different worlds. We were never meant to be together. From now on, we owe each other nothing. Please, your highness, stop clinging to this. Kong Xuan stumbled back a few steps. His eyes were filled with absolute heartbreak. Bai Yu, you can be so cruel. Everything we shared, you just throw it all away without a second thought? Fine, you win. He threw the door open and left without looking back. Bai Yu slowly slid to the floor, her heart aching so completely she could barely breathe. She thought she had already forgotten him, thought she had already moved on. But the moment she saw him, her heart started pounding wildly in her chest. She couldn't forget him. She was still so deeply in love with him. They say you dream about what occupies your mind all day. And that night she dreamed again. She dreamed that Kong Xuan came back, pulling her into his arms, kissing her, and whispering softly, begging for her forgiveness as he comforted her. A man as fiercely proud and mighty as him. The next morning, Bai Yu woke up with her entire body aching. She touched her forehead. It felt like she was running a fever. Her 5 boys came running into the courtyard, chattering excitedly about what happened out front. They told her that Kong Xuan had left bright and early, and right before he left, he gave his personal sword to her eldest son. Her other 4 boys had all gotten gifts from him too. Mommy, that handsome uncle said if there's a chance, he'll teach me magic himself. There won't be any next time, she thought, gently stroking her child's hair. Kong Xuan had done exactly what she asked. He walked away, and stopped chasing her. Yet, she couldn't bring herself to feel happy. Her mind was a tangled mess of complicated feelings. Rui Fei had always been very observant. During dinner, he casually asked her, "Have you met Kong Xuan before?" Now that she and Kong Xuan were completely over for good, she decided to lie. Just back at the Dragon Clan, I only saw the Crown Prince from a distance. Rui Fei looked at her, clearly skeptical, but he didn't push the matter any further. It wasn't long after that. War broke out again between the immortals and the demons. Rui Fei mentioned that Kong Xuan was leading the army himself. But this time, the demon realm's forces were incredibly aggressive. It was going to be a brutal, bloody war. Bai Yu was restless with anxiety. Even though she knew there was no future left for her and Kong Xuan, he was still the father of her sons. A few short days later, an envoy from the Dragon Clan came looking for her. "Lady Yu, the Dragon Empress sent me to fetch you. His Highness, he's been critically wounded. We fear he doesn't have much time left. His only dying wish is to see you one last time. Please, have some pity, just come with me to the East Sea, won't you?" Auntie Grape was practically pacing with anxiety, urging her on from the side. The Dragon Prince fought for the peace of the 6 realms. We might not be able to help with his grand battles, but the least we can do is help out with the little things. Bai Yu's heart was aching so much she could barely breathe. She had long given up on any happily ever after with him, but she still prayed that he would live a long, peaceful life even if it was far away from her. Throwing all her pride and hesitation out the window, she quickly entrusted the children to Auntie Grape and hurried off with the messenger. It had been years since they last saw each other. The Dragon Empress Dowager, once so regal and untouchable, was now a woman with a head full of pure white hair. She looked frail and completely worn out. Seeing Bai Yu walk in, she wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. "Oh, my sweet child. To think you would put aside how terribly I treated you all those years ago, that you'd let go of the past and come see Xuan. I can never thank you enough. Please go in and see him." Nothing in Kong Xuan's courtyard had changed. The layout of his bedroom was exactly as she remembered it. It was as if the years had just stood still. Kong Xuan was lying there, his entire body wrapped in thick bandages. His face was deathly pale against the pillows, and even his breathing was terrifyingly weak. Every step toward his bed felt like walking through deep water. Reaching out, she gently stroked his cheek. All the longing she had buried for years suddenly poured out of her. Xuan, that name, the one she had silently cried out thousands of times in her heart, finally slipped past her trembling lips. Kong Xuan's eyes slowly fluttered open. When he saw her, he froze for a second, before his face lit up with pure, desperate joy. "Baoer, is it really you? Are you back?" Bai Yu wiped the tears spilling from her eyes, nodding frantically. "It's me. I'm here, I came back, Your Highness. How are your injuries? Are you going to be okay?" Without warning, he suddenly grabbed her and pulled her into his arms. Terrified of pressing against his wounds, Bai Yu carefully melted into his embrace. You finally came back to me. You're not mad at me anymore?" Hearing that his soul might shatter completely had broken her heart into a million pieces. How could she ever hold on to her anger now? He gently stroked her hair, finally explaining the truth of what happened all those years ago. Did you know? I fell in love with you the very first time I saw you. That day, when you looked up at me with that sweet, innocent face and told me I was handsome. Your eyes were so incredibly clear. I was utterly captivated from that single glance. And later, when I was poisoned by that succubus, you had no idea how dangerous it was, sneaking into my bed and insisting on sleeping next to me. I wanted nothing more than to make you my crown princess right then and there. But you had no backing, no powerful family. And I hadn't truly secured my own power yet. I didn't have enough of a voice, so I didn't dare show everyone how much I loved you. I was so terrified of making you a target. I tried to be careful, to protect you in secret, but my grandmother still saw right through me. My father was frail, and our dragon clan had relied heavily on the protection of the fox clan's leader for years. So my grandmother took matters into her own hands and arranged my marriage with the Xianxia fox clan. And with the war breaking out between immortals and demons, the 6 realms were in absolute chaos. If I had recklessly refused the marriage back then, it would have plunged the entire dragon clan into terrible danger. So I had to push you away. I had to let you suffer. I'm so sorry. It was all my fault. I failed to protect you. I was the one who broke your heart. I hated myself for being so weak. That's why, for all these years, I fought on the deadliest front lines. I just wanted to gain enough power, as fast as humanly possible. So I could finally bring you back and give you the place by my side that you always deserved. And now I've finally done it. In this war between immortals and demons, the demon realm suffered a crushing blow. And I made a name for myself. From now on, I am the sovereign dragon king. No one will ever dictate my life again. Are you still willing to trust me? Will you marry me? Bai Yu's mind was in absolute turmoil. She was deeply moved, yet completely overwhelmed. It's okay. If you aren't ready, I'll respect your choice. I just beg you, please don't hide from me anymore. Just let me see you every single day. She steadied her breathing, and asked hesitantly, what about the princess of Xianxia? He gently tapped her nose and pressed a tender kiss to her forehead. Are you jealous? I've already handled that situation perfectly. My cousin from the South Sea is around my age. I set it up so that he would rescue Princess Yu. Now, those two are completely head over heels for each other. The heavy stone in her heart finally dropped. Bai Yu looked up, her fingers softly tracing the handsome line of his nose, and gave a little nod. Kong Xuan's face lit up with pure joy. He suddenly captured her lips, swallowing her gasp. Holding her tight, he poured his heart out, releasing years of pent-up desire and endless longing. However, because of their wild night of passion, his battle wounds tore wide open again. As the royal physician bandaged him up, he relentlessly scolded the king. Bai Yu was so mortified she wanted the ground to swallow her whole. Under her devoted care, Kong Xuan slowly regained his strength. The very day he could finally walk, he took Bai Yu by the hand and went straight to the Dragon Empress Dowager's chambers. He pleaded for her blessing on their marriage. The Empress Dowager was absolutely furious. She pointed a trembling finger at her. I was glad that you came to nurse my Xuan back to health. I even thought that whatever reward you asked for, I would do everything in my power to give it to you. But you actually dare to demand marriage to my Xuan? Kong Xuan immediately dropped to his knees, shielding Bai Yu. Grandmother, I was the one who fell in love with you. I practically forced her to marry me. This is entirely my own will. It has absolutely nothing to do with her. Huffing with rage, the dowager kicked them out of her courtyard, turning her back and locking herself in the prayer hall. She secluded herself, refusing to see them again. Just when they were completely at their wits' end, Rui Fei suddenly arrived with 5 little boys looking for Bai Yu. As they entered the dragon palace, the magic spell that had been hiding the children's true forms shattered. Mommy, so this is where you've been hiding. You have no idea how much we missed you. Kong Xuan stared in absolute shock at the little dragon horns on the children's heads. He stammered, completely lost for words. Are they my children? Seeing Bai Yu nod, tears welled up in his eyes as he pulled her into a tight embrace. Thank you so much for giving me all these beautiful children. It must have been so incredibly hard for you, raising them all alone. Bai Yu shook her head. She suddenly remembered the contraceptive potion from years ago. Are you surprised? I suppose so. After all, you made me drink bowl after bowl of that birth control brew back then. He stared at her blankly for a second, then realization dawned on him. Chuckling, he gently tapped her forehead. You silly girl, that wasn't a contraceptive. That was a tonic to nourish your body. Back then, when you asked me about having kids, I just thought you were still too young. He was so worried you'd suffer if you ever gave birth again, so he secretly had the royal physician prepare a special medicine to restore your health. She was deeply moved. His love was always so quiet, so unspoken. Bai Yu called the children over. Come here, kids, this is your father. The little ones jumped for joy. Without a hint of shyness, they ran up and threw their arms around Kong Xuan. It was loud and chaotic in the best way possible. Kong Xuan then led her and the children to the outside of the ancestral shrine. The Dragon Empress Dowager threw the doors open in a huff, furiously tossing her walking cane right out. What on earth is all this racket? She barked. Kong Xuan just leaned in and whispered something to the 5 little boys. The 5 boys bolted right into the shrine, shouting at the top of their lungs. Great Grandma. Just a moment later, the Dragon Empress Dowager walked out, beaming with joy as she held the 5 boys by the hands. She shot the couple a glaring eye roll. How can you two be such irresponsible parents? You let my precious great-grandsons wander the outside world for so many years. Well, what are you just standing around for? Hurry up and start preparing for the wedding. My sweet boys are so brilliant and adorable. Are you really going to let them stay undocumented, without a proper family name? Kong Xuan was absolutely ecstatic, but suddenly, Bai Yu felt a wave of dizzying vertigo wash over her. Kong Xuan quickly scooped her up and carried her into the Empress Dowager's bedchamber. The royal physician arrived in a flash. He checked the pulse on her left wrist, then checked her right. He went back and forth like this several times. Kong Xuan was pacing, his face fraught with absolute panic. Just as Kong Xuan was about to lose his temper, the old physician finally stroked his little goatee and gave a warm, knowing smile. Congratulations, Your Highness. Lady AU is pregnant. And if my diagnosis is correct, she is expecting another 5 babies. He held up a hand, spreading all 5 fingers wide. The Dragon Empress Dowager and Kong Xuan's jaws dropped to the floor before they completely erupted in absolute joy. The Empress Dowager immediately started calling a swarm of maids into the room, chattering away with endless commands. Lie down, just lie down, my dear. You absolutely must not overexert yourself. Oh, heavens above, the ancestors have finally answered our prayers. Dragon Clan is saved. However, because of the unexpected pregnancy, Bai Yu and the Dragon Crown Prince had to postpone their grand wedding ceremony. She was officially declared the Crown Princess of the Dragon Clan. On the day Rui flew in to bid his farewells, he looked at her with a deeply complicated expression. AU, are you really sure about this? Bai Yu nodded firmly. She felt a surge of genuine gratitude. Thank you and Auntie Grape for taking such wonderful care of me all these years. Once things settle down, I'll definitely bring the kids back to visit you both. He gave a warm, gentle smile. He stepped forward and gave her shoulder a reassuring pat. AU, your family, there's no need for such formalities. Listen, if Kong Xuan ever mistreats you, or if the Dragon Clan ever makes you suffer, just remember, you always have us backing you up. We are your maiden family now, and we will stand by your side, no matter what. Bai Yu's eyes welled up with tears once again. They weren't tied by blood at all, yet they treated her with such profound kindness. Kong Xuan stepped up, wrapping a fiercely protective arm around her waist. Rest assured, brother-in-law, I swear I will never let AU suffer even the slightest bit of grievance ever again. 10 full months later, Bai Yu gave birth to another 5 bouncing baby boys. The Dragon Empress Dowager was actually nursing a bit of a headache. Every time she visited, she couldn't help but stare right at Bai Yu's belly. Oh, these boys are far too rowdy. When on earth are you going to give me a sweet, delicate little princess? But for Bai Yu, her beautifully chaotic, wonderfully happy life had only just begun.